Hey, hello everybody. Today is sometime in May 7th, and this is the Snooze, SnarkAlec News. This is our monthly little hangout where we talk about things SnarkAlec. And when I say we, I don't mean just me, Tony. I mean um, me and my co-host, Mr. Dylan Lang. Say hi, Dylan.
Hello. Happy Thursday, first Thursday of May, almost summertime day, I guess. I'm done now.
Okay. Uh, and so, as usual, one of the things that we do is we talk about people's birthdays. So, Dylan, you wanna grab those birthdays while I'm still.
Absolutely. After the humongous amount of April and March birthdays we've had, we're starting to hit a little bit of a shallow market here. We've only got three till the next snooze. The most recent being the next one in line is not until May 28th, which is a long way down. That's Jen 528. So happy birthday to Jen in about 20 days. So there we go. And then we enter June. And June 1st, I guess it's appropriate. The official pagan, Mike's birthday is on June 1st.
And isn't your birthday in June?
It is, but not till mid-June. So we'll cover that hopefully on the next snooze in June. And then June 8th is Jackie Barker. And that are the birthdays. So happy birthday to all of them. Yep.
Wow. That seems like, I mean, we were doing almost 10 at a time, it seemed like. And when is it? Is it in the beginning of April where it's like April 2nd, 3rd, 4th?
It's March,
5th?
actually March.
Oh, March. March.
Dawn's involved with that, yeah.
Oh, Dawn, that's right. Dawn's in that whole string of
like 6 or 7 in a row or something like that. It's crazy.
So our next item to talk about, which is something I found, I think about a week ago. Syfy put out their summer schedule, so to speak, and because one of the questions that we've had is, okay, so when is we knew Defiance was coming back in June, and a couple of other things are going to happen. We know about Sharknado week, which is really going to suck, and I'll explain why it's going to suck. So in June, if anybody was wondering, season 3 of Defiance is going to be on Friday the 12th, and it's going to be at 8 o'clock, which is a little shocking to me. And not that it's going to be on Friday, because it looks like Syfy wants to do the same thing everybody else is doing, and as soon as a series ends, plunking 2 more shows in there that are going to be first runs, and it seems like they're doing that 13 episode season type stuff, where, okay, so most people don't know that TV shows used to have like a 20 or a 24 episode full season, like half-hour sitcoms, and it seems like they've shortened that down because that seems to work a little bit better.
But it does. It does mostly because it cuts back on the biggest complaint that everybody has, is there's going to be periods of time there where it's nothing but repeats. So you're going to have, and it was always around sweeps months. November you would have the first run, exciting, game-changing episodes. Then you take a break for about 2 months, and then February you'd have the next sweeps month, and they have more new episodes. And then you take another little break, and then come May, it might have 1 or 2, in April, March, whatever, and then you've got May, which is the final run to the end of the season. So it was stretching it for a whole 22, 24 episodes. Got kind of tedious after a while. I mean, it's okay with like a sitcom, half-hour sitcom where it's, bang, 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 30-minute jokes, boom, 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 you're done. Basically, it's basically 12-hour episodes for the most part. But then it gets a little tougher when you get the the serials, to try to stretch out a full season, 22 episodes, because then you start getting the fluff. Like that was a problem with a lot of people said with Lost, was because they had such a big amount of episodes, they started doing fluff episodes like, oh wow, let's find the mystery of Jack's tattoos. Who gives a flying rat's ass about his tattoos?
Right, and I didn't get caught up in the Lost thing, but there was also um, a lot of people were not happy with the way Lost ended, uh, because there was apparently a lot of questions out there that were left unanswered. So it was a little bit unsatisfying to some people.
Um,
Um,
I'm I'm sorry, Tony. I am a Lost fan, and I'm going to be covering this in one of my solo Dylan Knows episodes down the line. So because I think that the finale was grossly misunderstood, and I'll explain what that is. But you go ahead. I didn't mean to
yeah.
interrupt you. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say, kind of like the way Under the Dome has become now. It's going to go into their third season. I don't know when that one's going to start up again. And the only reason I am still watching is because I want to see how this whole mess turns out. But I mean, I am a big fan of when Under the Dome first came up, that it was going to come out, and it was doing so well for especially for a summer show. It was doing good numbers if it was a fall show during the summertime, and that's why they stretched it out. Um, but I was like, it's perfect. You can't do um, a whole lot with that story, and what they had to do is they had to throw in a whole bunch of other bullcrap that's going on that had nothing to do with the original book. Um, don't know how Under the Dome is going to end up, but I mean, for the most part, in season 2 and season 3, I've been watching that show just to make fun of the characters. Not necessarily. I mean, the actors are good. They've got some good people in the show, but it's just ridiculous how they're drawing this thing out, which brings up Wayward Pines. I don't know if you've heard of Wayward Pines.
Mm-hmm.
It's an M. Night Shyamalama Ding Dong 10 episode um, miniseries series. I don't know what you want to call it, but um, actually heard an interview with him this week on the local radio station, and it was actually originally slated to be 13 episodes, and it's based on a book. And as they were doing it, he realized that they were just throwing stuff in to fill out time that was unnecessary. And it is going to be a single season self-contained project. However, if it is well received, and if he thinks they can do a second season, they will do a second season with the characters, because it's based on a book. And as they're talking about maybe things that they can do for a season 2, they've got the guy who wrote the book working with them. And what may happen is a book may come out at the same time as a season 2 if they ever do it, and the stories may not necessarily match up. But I'm looking forward to that. And the problem with that show is it's on Thursdays at 9 o'clock. So,
Of course it is.
and it starts next Thursday. Wonder why we're on tonight, huh? Because I want to catch it, and I've heard a lot of good things about it, so I'm looking forward to that.
Well, here's the thing. I've heard about too. They're calling it I guess not modern, but a new century Twin Peaks, and Twin Peaks is one of my absolute favorite shows of all time. And that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. If Twin Peaks' second season could have cut about half of their season, it would have been an absolutely brilliant season. But that's what caused, I think personally, that and just the bizarre weirdness of it. It was ahead of its time, that it caused it not to get a third season. It's because you got your mystery solved in the first 6 episodes, and then you had to stretch it out till you get to the next big storyline they want to do. So for about 4 or 5 episodes in there, it was absolute garbage. and then it got better. And if they could have maybe sliced and diced that a little bit and maybe dropped it to maybe a 13 episode second season, because the first season was only 8 episodes, and that was probably one of the best, most tightest storylines you'd ever see. It was perfectly nuanced, perfectly thing. Great season finale cliffhangers. I mean, multiple cliffhangers. It's one of those shows that's like, what the hell? And then, oh, you're recovering from that. Oh my God, what the hell? And then you're recovering from that. What the hell again? So there's like 3 or 4 massive cliffhangers, which made it spectacular. So, and I think that's the reason why they're going with that now, is because, I mean, there's the 13 episodes, because you can get you can do a tight knit story, with a beginning, middle, and end, and still get, still feel like you're getting a lot of stuff. And then you've got the stuff like the shows on AMC, like Walking Dead and stuff like that, where you do, half and half seasons, which it's a pain in the ass because we want to see what happens, but it does help a little bit, because then it, builds up your anticipation for it, and then comes back for it. And then in between, it gives you a chance to maybe take a look at a show you might not regularly think about while you're waiting for Walking Dead to come back.
Okay. Well, getting back to Wayward Pines, and hold that thought about a split season, because I've got a question for you. But Wayward Pines, here's a spoiler alert, people, and I said spoiler alert. Halfway through, you're going to find out what the secret is behind the town, and then the story continues from there. So you don't have to wait all the way until the end to find out what the hell is going on, but you still have to watch it till the end to get to the resolution. But Matt Dillon plays the lead character. You've also got Terrence Howard. He's the dude who plays the dad in the Fox show Empire. Carla Gugino and Juliette Lewis. They've got a great cast, and so I'm looking forward to that one. But here goes my question to you, and I have my opinion, but binge watching as opposed to watching a show live, like The Walking Dead, is there any difference in the experience for you binge watching a show as opposed to watching a show like The Walking Dead or like 12 Monkeys or Helix, and then having to wait the week for the next episode?
For me personally, not really. I like to binge watch, because you get a bunch of, sometimes the story makes more sense, and knowing how my mind works, I forget a lot of stuff that happens from previous weeks and people's names, stuff like that. But if I can sit down and watch 4 to 6 episodes in one sitting, it makes it easier, I guess, for me to remember stuff like that. But at the same time, I like having the anticipation of what's going to happen, where's it going to go. Holy cow, I can't believe they did that. Now I've got to wait 7 days till it comes back on again. And it gets kind of annoying, yeah, but at the same time, it makes it kind of exciting. So for me personally, I don't really have a preference either or. I like both. What about you, Tony?
Well, you see, I kind of feel sometimes that binge watching is a little bit, not that it's cheating, but yeah, it is.
And that's fair.
I feel that if there is a cliffhanger, right, and you have to wait that week, and then the issue is resolved, I think you earn it. And sometimes you can have a cliffhanger and it can let you down, and sometimes it's awesome. But with the Walking Dead in particular, because what they do is they play the previous week's episode directly before the new episode. So I always watch the 8 o'clock last week's episode before we go into. So it's almost like a mini binge. I will, because it's a different experience. I feel that if I watch The Walking Dead live, okay, and then before the new season starts, they always do the marathon. And I always try and catch as much of the marathon as I possibly can. But when it gets near to like the previous season, I try and binge watch that. And um, one of the things that has come up for me when doing that was, um, let's take the character Dale in The Walking Dead. Everybody on Twitter, um, and in other social media, Dale is a jerk. Dale, shut the F up. You know, get the hell out of there, Dale. And as soon as Dale got killed, oh man, how could they kill Dale? How could they kill Dale? And I was one of those people that was like, wow, that's messed up. Not that they killed him, but how he died, it was pretty messed up. But then when the next season came up and I watched the marathon, and I was like, you want to know something? Dale wasn't so bad. My perception of the character changed because when I binged watched it, like, you forget every little detail, you forget every little nuance, like you were saying. And then when you watch it in a marathon, you're like, Dale was kind of right. He was the moral backbone of the group. And he wasn't so bad. Oh well, he's still dead. But at the time, like, it was like whenever Dale popped up, he was always throwing a monkey wrench into stuff. We can't do that. That's not what we do. Um, but that's an interesting little conversation that a lot of people can have about a lot of shows. I mean, Walking Dead is unique in the way that they do that particular show. I mean, AMC does it a lot with its shows, where they split the season between two halves, and um, but bravo for them even putting it on. And I'm like you, Twin Peaks. I watched it when it first came on, and I gravitate towards shows that are not normal. They don't necessarily need to be sci-fi shows for me to like them, but just something different. Show me something different. Try and do something new. Think outside the box. And seems like Wayward Pines is going to do that. So I'm looking forward to that.
And just real quick before we get on to the next topic, there are some things, though, binge watching, though, I think it loses something when it's like a procedural type of show where every episode is like a one and done. So you've got one storyline that really doesn't flow to the next one, except uses the same characters, that type of thing. Binge watching in that case is not really necessary, like a Law and Order or like a Criminal Minds or something like that. It isn't really necessary for that. It's more along the lines for those shows where
That
it's
are
got
like a serialization type show.
Exactly. That makes it easier.
Yeah. And Criminal Minds and some of those other cop shows, they may have Criminal Minds does it more than most cop shows, where there's sometimes a background criminal that they don't catch or whatever, or issues with the cast members themselves that seem to wend their way in and out. Like they'll touch upon it in one episode, then you'll go a couple of episodes and not see anything about that, and then it'll crop up again. They've done that, but see, I can't watch cop shows. And the reason I can't watch cop shows is because there's this thing called a clock. Okay. And yesterday, okay, I happened to be walking through as the rest of my brood was watching Criminal Minds. And I was watching a stupid freaking hockey game. And the reason I call it a stupid freaking hockey game is because the freaking Rangers lost. Okay. And I don't know what the story was. I don't know what the hell was going on, but they were trying to find Huge Tits' niece. What the hell is her name?
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Jennifer Love Huge Tits, yes. She's on that show now, and she had her niece was abducted or something. So, they have Penelope, the one character who stays back at FBI headquarters, and she's their hacker. Okay. And you want to know something? She can get into anybody's computer. She'll be like, they're like, can you get in? And she'll be like, I'm in. It's like, that's amazing. How could you do that? It's in freaking possible. When you look at the clock, it's like they have a conversation and one guy says one thing, one guy says the next thing, the next thing you know, they're going to 1111 Elm Street, and they're knocking on the door and the killer's inside. It's a little bit ridiculous how quickly that they resolve these things. But I mean, if you look at the clock, hey, there's only 10 minutes left. This is where they have that turning point in the case. That one clue, that one piece of the puzzle, they're going to find it right here, you know? Um, so I gravitate more toward, I mean, Defiance is, a lot of that show. Each episode is almost like a self-contained little story with the bigger overall background story going on. And it's a great show. Helix, I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but I will tell you, if you ask me, I loved Helix. I loved the first season. I loved the second season. The second season was so much better than it was so much crazier. It was so far off the wall, and nobody watched it. And that's my problem, and that's your problem. It's Dawn's problem. It's every Alec's problem, because nobody got their friends, their family, to watch that show. And
yeah, it was. Yeah, no, I agree with that. It was a total shame. It was a fantastic season, and I would have loved to see where they would have gone with the third season, because you get the end of the first season, and they have the flash forward to the future, and then you see Julia is one of the leaders of Ilaria now, and the brothers are getting ready to raid it or something like that, and then it ends, and then the new season starts, and it was as if it never happened. But wait, it did. It happened months ago, but we never saw what happened. And then it just moved on to the next storyline, which I thought was great. And then they had the time jumps in there, which made it interesting. And then just the total insanity of the storyline just made me want to think, now what, after this season, what could the writers possibly have come up with for this possible third season that can outdo the second and the first season? And unfortunately, you're right. We're never going to find out what it is, because it's a big shame.
Well, and here goes the thing that's hysterical to me. I don't know what the product is, but there is a commercial that uses that Sunshine Day Brady Bunch song that they used in Helix. And every time I hear that song, I don't think of the Brady Bunch anymore. I think of that scene where all the kids are. And I mean, it's just like, when you watch that, there's either two reactions you could have: Dylan's reaction there with a laugh, or horror. And like, what the hell is going on here? Now, personally, I'm sitting there and I said to myself, you've got to be kidding me. And then I started to laugh. I mean, it was, and that was just one of many moments where I sat there. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, really? You're doing that? That's brilliant. And in just about every episode, they had what I called wacky music time. But I mean, everybody picked up on the music choices. I mean, they did the same thing with music in the first season. I mean, even that little um theme song that they had almost sounded like the beginning of like a late 60s, early 70s product jingle that you'd hear on the radio. Like, or, like, okay, here you go, here comes your new car, and it's like a sleek Cadillac coming in. Da, 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 and just great. Just great. I can't believe. But hey, we started out talking about Syfy's schedule, and real quickly, we can talk about, there's a couple of new shows coming on that people are probably going to be liking or wanting to watch. There's going to be the Dark Matter is going to be coming on right after, not right after, at 10 o'clock on the same night as Defiance. So there's going to be something in between there for one week, and then the following week is Killjoys. It's a fun-loving, hard-living trio of interplanetary bounty hunters sworn to remain impartial as they chase deadly warrants throughout the quad. So that sounds like something that Syfy will put up. And I think
the 11th is a 2-hour Defiance.
It's a 2-hour Defiance? Okay, yeah. Cool. Then Dominion is coming back in July at 10 o'clock. And then there's Shark Week and Sharknado. And here goes the thing that sucks about
Yes, this does suck.
Sharknado week is I am not going to be here. I am going to be going away on the 16th, and I will not be coming back until, well, it all depends on good behavior and shit, but I'm going to be gone for 10 days minimum. But on that week, okay, the Sharknado 3, oh hell no. Then there's going to be Sharktopus vs. Whale Wolf, which is a Corman movie. There's Three-Headed Shark Attack with Danny Trejo, and we probably in July, before this happens, we're probably going to have to take Mr. Gerald Webb to task for that one, because no way he was not involved in that one. Robo Shark, which is not a new movie because it's been out before, but Mega Shark versus Colossus is a new movie, and then Zombie Shark. Okay. How can you not want to watch all of these movies? I mean, how?
It sucks. It's all in 1 week, though. You know, it's not spread out. You're supposed to spread the stuff out, man. Spread out through the whole month of July.
What we may have to do is we may have to come up with a plan, and everybody has Syfy, and if everybody's got a DVR, we'll just pick the order, and if there's nothing going on a Saturday night, we'll just DVR them and watch them together. Because, I mean, obviously Sharknado, everybody in the world's going to be watching that, but the other movies, I'm thinking that we should be able to DVR those and spread that goodness out. Everybody's got DVR now, right? You guys got DVR,
yeah,
right?
We have one. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So,
in fact, we still have the one we've you and I got to hook up on sometime is Airplane versus Volcano.
Okay.
Which was supposedly the sequel to the one we saw a couple weeks ago about what was that? The volcano movie we watched a couple weeks ago.
See, I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
Wait, hold on. There was Airplane versus Volcano. That was well, actually, no, I think I saw that on Netflix.
And then it was the one Pompeii, something Pompeii.
Oh, Pompeii. Yeah. Well, Pompeii was the volcano movie, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. And then, but then what happened was there was that bit they did where it's like, oh, all these volcanoes popped up in Hawaii, and it was on some sort of TV show on the news, and then it just went away from that, and then the movie ended, and we never found out what happened in Hawaii. So I tweeted that, and the guy who directed was like, oh, you got to watch Airplane versus Volcano to find out what happened. I was like, okay, good thing I have it DVR'd.
Okay, I did not know Airplane versus Volcano was the sequel, or it was in the same.
Yeah, I didn't know either till the director said, no, it's part of the same universe, and you can find out what happened. So,
and there is a wait, when is this one coming up? There's another during the same week, Lavalantula with Steve Guttenberg.
Yes, and I think Leslie.
Yeah, the whole
Leslie Easterbrook and Michael Winslow are in it too. Yeah.
Basically the entire Police Academy cast is going to be in that. So there goes another movie that's going to be on that week. And then if that wasn't enough, that's not all, folks. The following Tuesday is going to be season 9 of Face Off. So there is going to be wow, and in that season it's also going to include their 100th episode. So
ooh, nice.
There's,
and also, even though it's not part of Syfy, The Strain is coming back in July supposedly also, so for season 2.
Yeah, probably while I'll be away. But you want to know something? With my new DVR, I can DVR 12 shows simultaneously, so I don't give a F. I mean, like I never and I said, you know, I could have 12 people in this house, and I will tell you that there would never be a time when I had to simultaneously have 12 different shows DVR'd at the same time. Never. I mean, possibly two. I mean, but I mean, I've got 3 TVs in my house. Okay, and plus you can watch TV on a tablet in most cases. You don't have. I mean, the only time I DVR something would be like if it's Game 7 of the World Series. You know what I mean? And I'm going to DVR that just in case. I've got it. You know what I mean? I can rewatch it and relive it if my team wins, and if my team loses, I'll just delete that shit.
Absolutely.
Just like every other normal fan would do. Um, but you see, Laura doesn't have to get a VCR there, Laura. She's got a VCR. She's got her friggin' BlackBerry. I mean, the next. She's got 2 cans with a string as a phone. Come on, Laura. Get a DVR or a TiVo or one of those thingies.
It's not too bad. I think ours is like $10 added to it, like $10 a month added to the bill. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, and well, with the new thing that we got, which is we ended up having to pay $10 more than what we were previously paying, but we've got multi-room DVR now, which we didn't have before. We got high def in every room, which we didn't have before. So, and you can, not that I've ever done it, but I've never paused a show on one TV and finish watching it upstairs. Okay, because most of the time, the only time you'd want to do that is if you were watching a movie, to tell you the truth, and if it was on like uh, a premium channel where there was no commercials. But hey, if I'm watching a movie and I want to go upstairs, I shut the TV off downstairs when the commercials come on, and by the time I get upstairs, guess what? I'm still seeing commercials. So it's not like I'm going to do that, you know? Hey, and guess what? If you're watching a live sporting event and you pause it in one room, the guys are still playing the friggin' game. So you can pick it up where you left off in another room, but now you're behind, you know? And all of a sudden the game's over and all your friends are texting you and tweeting you saying, congratulations, the Jets won the Super Bowl. And you're 5 minutes behind. You didn't know they won. Like, thanks. You just ruined it for me.
Yep.
So anyway, there's a lot of good stuff coming up in July. We will talk about it again, obviously, but this was just announced. And the movies have been few and far between. So what we'll probably have to do is we'll probably have to look into doing a couple more of those late night movies that start at 9 o'clock, because all of those movies are on YouTube. And you know, we'll ask Patrick if we can use the Sci-Fi Designs chat room, because that worked out pretty good the last time, just like they do it with late night movies. So if we find a couple of good movies, and we've got Saturdays where there's nothing going on. You see, right now, Orphan Black is on, but I don't watch it. I DVR it, and then I still haven't watched last week, so I got through about half of it. So, you know, when I get to it, I'll get to it. I missed Penny Dreadful. It's on my DVR. When I get to it, I'll get to it. Not a big priority. As a matter of fact, Penny Dreadful, though, I did not watch that show live at all. And I binged watched it, and it really is a good show. But a little bit predictable, but I still liked it. You know, pretty decent story. I can't wait for The Strain, though.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So they released some sort of, I hadn't watched it yet, but they released it like yesterday or whatever, like a 30-second teaser trailer type of thing for it. So
I hate those. I can't watch that. I can't watch it because it works too well.
Yeah.
You know, it for the same reason, like I don't go seeking out behind the scenes crap on The Walking Dead and this and that. You know, I don't want to know. I don't, you know, there's no reason for me to know. And yeah, so Laura's got Sunshine Day playing in the background with her music.
That should be our theme song.
Yeah, really. And then just have like a little short bus, you know, like driving. It's like, yeah, this is how Dylan and Tony get home. but that's enough. That's enough about sci-fi. So oh, real quick. Um, so SnarkStock is about 99.9% set. Everybody that's coming is probably going to be getting an email sometime late next week. But um, what it all boils down to is we've got a place that we're going to all meet at about 11 o'clock. And then we're going to go from there to Eastern State Penitentiary, which is going to be friggin' awesome. And then after that, we're going to head to Center City. And depending on the weather and what's going on, we may do some outdoor activities. We may go to the Reading Terminal Market. It all depends on the weather. But our last stop is there is not going to be any karaoke.
Ah,
So,
damn it.
fortunately for the world, there will be no video of Tony, Dylan, and Mike singing karaoke together. That's not going to happen. But we are going to go to a place called the Eulogy Bar. And they actually have tables, I think, upstairs that were at one time or could look like caskets. And so that's where we're going to end up the evening. But um, our next snooze is going to be June 11th, I said, right, Dylan?
Yeah.
Which is the Thursday after SnarkStock. So we're not going to do it like the first Thursday, which is what we normally do. We're going to do it the second Thursday. So we will have the next news is almost completely going to be dedicated to SnarkStock. And we may have some of the other attendees attend this news to talk about their experiences and stuff. And another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a folder that everybody can upload their stuff to, the same way that we did for the Sharknado contest. That way, everybody can take their pictures and upload them to that folder, and everybody from SnarkStack will have access to everybody else's photos that they upload, and then I'll pick a bunch of those and I'll put them on the website, and I may make that folder public at a certain point so everybody can go in and just browse the photos if they want to. But that's definitely going to happen. So it'll be on the website, and some of the better pictures will be up on the website, and all of the pictures will be available to at least everybody who attends SnarkStock, and I may make all of the pictures available to everybody for viewing. Haven't decided that yet, but we will have more details out to people that are attending soon. So if you're attending SnarkStock, don't worry about it. Everybody's going to be getting an email. And then next show, we will recap all of the shenanigans and stuff that happens.
The
there.
aftermath.
The aftermath. Yes, the Jets will win the Super Bowl, possibly in my lifetime, Mr. McGivna. But I wasn't predicting anything like tomorrow, because I'll tell you one thing though, my balls are not deflated. How about yours, Dylan?
Mine aren't either.
Working just fine over here.
Jeez.
And
but real quick, on that note, though, I mean, the Jets had a pretty good draft. I'm just going to throw that out there. They had a pretty good draft. So
right, but you want to know something? We'll see what happens. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I think Ryan walked into a good situation getting up there into Buffalo. I think Ryan was part of the problem in New York, but the Jets also needed to do what they did. Okay, because a lot of people can say what they will about Mark Sanchez. He was a rookie and made it to the AFC Championship game. His second season, he made it to the AFC Championship game. Okay. Every season he had different receivers, different linemen, different offensive coordinators every 2 years, changing it all up. And you want to know something? that's one of the reasons why he had big problems. Okay. And if he would have had a consistent system to develop under with receivers that the Jets were willing to keep, um, maybe they would have gotten a Super Bowl, possibly with Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez would never win a Super Bowl. Yeah, you want to know something? If they would have done something long enough, uh, because basically what happens up in New England, they have a scheme, they keep a scheme. They got Belichick, he's a genius, even though he cheats. They got Tom Brady, he's great, even though he cheats. Um, and I'm just saying that because I really think, I mean, there was an interview with Brady where he said uh, they were talking about a touchdown that Gronkowski had caught the ball and then muscled his way into the end zone and had a pile of people on his back. And Brady said, I love it when Gronk does that. Every time he does that, he deflates the balls. I love deflated balls. But I think he was saying, like, I love it handing him the ball and him or throwing the ball to him and him scoring a touchdown, which is what I believe he was saying. Um, as opposed to him saying, yeah, Gronkowski actually physically lets the air out of the balls, and I like it when that happens. No, I think he was talking about a touchdown, and I think people heard that, and that's why they went after him. But hey, that's neither here nor there.
Right.
It's got nothing to do with me because you want to know something? Tomorrow, I'm still going to have to pay my bills, and Tom Brady ain't coming to my house and paying my bills, so he can go F himself with his friggin' 4 Super Bowls. Uh, and he's still going to be he'll still make it into the Hall of Fame. Although, not that I want to turn this into sports talk, but I think I was listening to Mike and Mike this morning, and Mike and Mike were saying that they looked at fumbles from their running backs and receivers over the past 7 or 8 years, and there was a significant lower number of fumbles in that time frame while Brady was quarterback um, than on any other team, and it was significantly, you know, lower than other teams. So if the ball is deflated to help the quarterback rip the ball better, doesn't it also help your running backs and your receivers?
It does. Absolutely.
So there you go. So maybe it is bigger than maybe it is a bigger thing than people are making it out to be. So there, take that, Tom Brady.
Alrighty then.
Yeah. That's enough about that. So we talked about just about everything that we were supposed to talk about tonight, so we can go home now, right?
Do we want to talk about shoes?
Oh, okay, let's talk about shoes. Shoes go on feet, and not my favorite thing. So on the website, and it is about to come down, people. There were two questions that people had the opportunity to ask. The first question was, and again, Dylan and I were not involved in creating these topics. They were submitted by the topics guru, and nobody knows who this person is. And believe me, it's not me or Dylan or Dawn. The first question was, and this gets very funny, but describe your favorite shoe ever and why did you or do you like it so much? The next question in the same grouping, and you didn't have to answer both. You could have just done one. Some people did one, some people did both. You must live on an island with 25 people. 7 of those people have to be professionals or very good at a trade. Who would you choose? Example, I would choose a horticulturist because they would plant blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, is a surgeon, would that be considered a trade?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, trade is, yeah, I know trade has that distinction of, it's
like carpenter or plumber.
Yeah, I think it's a trade. I mean, in the old days when they used to they didn't call it jobs, they called it trade. So yeah, I think so.
So we had some responses to this, and So do you want to take the? Let's see. What's that last one? That last one is a 12, 13. You want to take? All right. How about we do this? How about I take the even ones and you take the odd ones?
Okay.
All right.
Are we just doing the shoes then first? Or are we
Well,
doing?
no,
Okay.
we'll go right across.
Okay.
So the first submission in under the category of describe your favorite shoe ever was my favorite shoes are my isotoner slippers. When I get home from work, the first thing I do is slip my feet into my isotoners. They feel like you're walking around on clouds in heaven. I have come to the realization that all shoes are not created equally. I get several pairs every year. Terry ones for warm weather and wool-lined ones for the cold. Heaven. And I believe that one was submitted by our own birthday guru, Laura.
Mhm.
She did not send in anything about the island part of that question.
No, but she did send a secondary
A
shoe
follow
one.
up. Yes, a
Yep.
follow up.
And I kind of like this one too. It's my most unfavorite shoe combo in parentheses. Socks with sandals. I'm not talking about when females wear a cute short sock with some heels, because those are kind of cute, or even some guy with fine ass legs and squished down all white socks like I wear. I'm talking about the sock sandal combo your dad used to wear. The ones that would wear extremely long tube socks, some with the stripes pulled all the way up to their knees, with some type of clunky, ugly sandal. Eek! Are you thinking nothing could get worse or more embarrassing than this? Oh, but wait a minute, it sure as hell can. They're those men that own no white tube socks. They wear their sandals with dark dress socks. The hell, you say, the horror of it all. That's also from Laura Norman, which is, yeah, it's horrible. It's horrendous. It's terrible.
And I just want to point out that Lee loved the sports talk segment of our show, and she wants to do some more sports talk, and she wants to do it every week. So Lee will get right on that. We'll get into more sports talk next show. Right now we're doing the topic stuff.
But definitely.
Um, so this is from Cindy LAC. And she did not go with her favorite shoe. She did go with the 25 people. So you must live on an island with 25 people. 7 have to be professionals or very good at a trade. So Cindy picked a bartender, an IT guy, a famous actor, a chef, a farmer, a fisherman, a filmmaker. Not what you meant. LOL.
I think we
Um,
meant that. I think that sounds about good.
yeah, did she just forgot the electrician? But but yeah, I mean, um, making a lot of assumption that you got a bartender, you're making the assumption that there's booze there, because it is an island, so we don't know what's on the island, so we are making assumptions. But yeah, not a bad list.
No, I mean, with the bartender, maybe they know specific things about different types of alcohol. Maybe they can find something on the island they can turn into alcohol. I don't know.
Okay, well, in that case, maybe I would want a bootlegger and not necessarily a bartender.
Right.
Yeah, someone who knows how to, take those potato peels and turn them into vodka or something like that.
All righty, here we go. This one is a twofer. It's from Holly, and she did both. So first we'll do the shoes. What are your favorite shoes? Her favorite shoes are Vans. They're always there. They don't complain no matter how much I weigh. They go with everything. They get compliments. They feel awesome. They hold their shape. They never go out of style. Yeah, I like Vans too. I don't have any pair, but I like them. And then her 25 people on the island, 7 professionals. She said an author. We will be needing stories. An architect. We need houses. A farmer will need food. A lawyer. There will be arguments. Okay. A medic to heal. And 2 firemen. The women will need cute guys to look at while all the work is being done. And that's from Holly.
Okay. All right. So far, the common theme here is definitely a farmer. So a farmer's turned up twice. We'll have to Oh boy, here comes Myrna's. Uh, okay, so I'm going to bring that up to the top. So yeah, um, not bad, not bad. Just 2 firemen though.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, you know, if you're on an island, you know, you might not have a lot of access to fire. I mean, you hope you have some, but I don't think it's going to be. I guess you only need one, to be honest.
Well, firemen, in order to know how to put out fires, need to know how to, what makes fires burn and
Guard
stuff
too.
like that.
Yeah.
So they should be able to at least help you make um, a fire continue to burn. So here we are we're back to my favorite shoe ever. And this is from Myrna, and Myrna, and the next couple all have double bangs. Oh, you get a Myrna one too, Dylan. A little bit
Awesome.
further down. My favorite shoe was a red shiny pump. It wasn't mine. It belonged to my aunt. When I was little, I was so attracted to it, I tried to eat it. It looked like candy. I wonder if Myrna used to eat paint chips too.
Especially pretty red ones. Ooh, it looks like Red Hots. Yum.
I refused to believe I couldn't eat them. They were so shiny, and I liked the taste. When I went to my aunt's house, she had to hide the shoe in a closet. I found it. She had to take it out of my mouth. When I grew up, I bought one just like it and wore it with my jeans all the time to college. But she got over her shoe eating fetish there. Um,
Well, as far as we know, I mean,
and
she might have
this,
done it in secret, you know.
right. Nobody's looking. Let me take a little nibble out of this heel. Looks like a Twizzler. um, getting back to the other side here, you must live on an island with 25 people, and the 7 professionals Myrna would bring a writer. They can pass on stories of the island and keep files. Yes, because we need admin, even on a deserted island. We need to have people do admin duties. I bring a construction worker to build homes and other stuff. So right now, she is matching Holly blow for blow. Uh, a family doctor with knowledge of most illness and deliver babies. Like, okay, so people are going to be getting knocked up, and we're going to be repopulating the earth from this island here,
Nice.
because specifically people are going to get hurt, but them women, they're going to be getting knocked up. You want to know why? Because everybody on this island is frisky.
Oh, yeah.
And we got a bunch of frisky people on this island. A scientist to study diseases, spread them, and then develop cures. Okay, so this scientist is going to spread diseases so he can cure them and act like a hero. That is awesome. My kind of scientist, just like Stephen Hawking. An agriculturist, teach others to cultivate the land and such. A fisherman to get dinner, because that's all you're going to be eating is fish. A lawman to keep the town in order so people don't kill each other. My island will thrive until the doctor discovers a very sick person and doesn't know what the fuck to do. The scientist quarantines the infected one. Eventually, a horrible zombie virus starts to spread. Now my island is full of zombies and no one can leave. And you want to know why? There's going to be zombie babies on this island too, because all those
Why not?
babies.
All get eaten, not beaten,
Yep.
eaten. Yep. Oh,
The
yeah.
scientist races to find the cure, and with the help of the agriculturists, they work to save the people of the island. They are still working on it. It almost sounds like Helix. It almost sounds like Helix.
It really
It's
does.
not exactly, but it's close.
All righty. And on that note, we have Lee has got her. We got hers now, Lee. So Lee, pay attention. Get ready to do yours. You did both also. The first one is the shoe one. What's your favorite shoe? I would sneak in. Well, there's a lot of sneaking here. I would sneak into my mom's closet and put on my most fave lavender suede pointy toe pumps and prance around the house with them. My mom was a 60s fashionista, like in the Mad Men days. I've never seen shoes in that color again, made with the butter suede with lavender leather trim. Gorgeous. I suppose that the style faded away when the 60s ended, just like candy apple red cars of that era. You know what? I'm not. I like the sound of that. Actually, that might actually be a nice looking shoe. Actually, a lavender with some butter striping on it. Nice. I like that.
Well, there was a lot of awesome playing with color in the 60s, and I think most of that had to do with acid. Um, I've seen a couple of almost candy apple red Mustangs recently, but not as much as I used to see back in the day, I'm going to say.
Right. Candy apple red is a nice color. That just reminds me of candy apple cooler that High C used to do. It's one of my favorite drinks. Anyway, besides the point. Now on to Lee's 25 people, 7 have to be professionals. First guy would be Bear, the one from Travel Channel show. He can survive in any environment. Second, an anthropologist, just in case we have to deal with the hostile natives. Okay, that makes sense. 3 and 4, the Gator Boys. Definitely need them on an island. 5, Josh Gates. He can explore uncharted territory and report back to the group.
And get wet.
Get wet. 6, the Treehouse Master guy. We might have to build high off the ground. And 7, Jimmy Norton, so he can keep us laughing until we all die. And that's
Okay,
Lee.
so Lee went. She didn't go with the 7 professions, even though she did. But she went to specific people, which is, hey, Jim Norton would be awesome, or any comedian. I like Jim Norton, so that's pretty awesome. I don't know if we need both the Gator Boys. I mean, like that would be like, wouldn't that be like wasting a spot? I think I'd rather have the river monster guy who goes fishing, because he might also be able to fish.
Yeah, because I mean, you have on an island, more than likely, you're going to have both the surrounded by the ocean, but then you're probably going to have some sort of freshwater river lake type of thing in there as well. So yeah, it might be good to have someone in there.
But he goes out in the ocean sometimes. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a problem with her list, except for instead of having 2 of the Gator Boys, because one Gator Boy can show other people how to be a Gator Boy. I would just stick in like the River Monster guy, or the rednecks from that monster, the Mountain Monster guys. I love that show. Those guys are a pisser. Not very believable, but good. So next, Kiana 18A6 would be Pinky's favorite shoe. A Kiana 18A6 gel hot pink blue purple, the coolest, most comfortable athletic shoe in the world, and so tough that I've worn them for years. Everywhere I go, people are instantly jealous that they're not wearing them. They're like walking on pillows. I got mine from Lady Footlocker. So that's from Jan Pinky Guerrero. And she also answered the 25 people question. And so she would choose a ninja assassin and threaten everyone with death if they don't work together for the good of the whole group, in case people get whiny. And if it was a group of SnarkAlecs, there would definitely be some people getting whiny. I need chocolate.
I need wine.
Bring me snacks. I need coffee. Everybody wants it. Sci-Fi doesn't show enough movies on Saturdays. We need more movies. I would also choose a professional well digger, just in case we need some holes. Okay, we need a meteorologist to make sure we make it through the hurricane season. Someone who traps wild pigs for a living would be awesome. I think it would help if we had Bette Midler there for entertainment. One of the professionals should be a bisexual prostitute to relieve tensions. Okay, just as long as it was a female bisexual prostitute, I wouldn't have a problem with it. And lastly, we need a bug expert telling us whether we'll die from the bites and the stings. Pinky, that was Pinky's. I like her list.
I do too. I like it too.
She had a totally different take on everything. And oh, so that means you're up there, Dill.
Yep, we got Myrna Part 2. So again, she's talking about her favorite shoes. Another favorite shoe of hers would be, it's a wedge sneaker, my favorite. It's gray with hot pink laces. I use it to walk. I'm not even going to go there. When the road ruined them and made holes on the soles because I was using them every day to walk, I went online and reordered my favorite wedge sneaker, the exact one. I use them less because the the roads destroy them too quickly. Since I rove, I think you mean love them. Since I love them, I want them to last. Okay.
I rove my freaker. Can we rove them?
Yeah.
Snack.
Holes in the soles. And now, once again, 25 people, 7 professionals. I want a special island with crazy people. So I decided to bring an oenologist. He knows how to make wine, keep everyone happy. 2, gardener, tend the plants. The number 3, the horticulturalist grows. Them and a botanist to study the plants that are drugs and how they work.
Okay.
For the drug-induced community.
For the drug-induced community. Okay.
5, a scientist to mix rubes and crap. Okay.
Okay.
Make your crap rubes. An artist, number 6, to paint the naked people. Okay. And 7, records keep. What is it with records? You, Myrna?
We have to have an admin. Got to keep track of all the drugs that we're taking here and all the booze we're drinking.
Records keeper, because the drugs will ruin the people's memory. They need to remember stuff. Drugged up people live in the island full of smoke clouds and condensation. Scientists created a mist all around the island. The water molecules stuck in clusters. No one could see the island from the outside, but we have records and paintings to show that the memory and stories live on. Is she pitching stuff to Syfy?
I don't know. I
Alrighty then. Excuse me. How are you, Tony?
So this is from Barry Vensidor, and he has a favorite shoe. My favorite shoes are boots, jump boots. They are high leg boots that have speed laces and provide excellent ankle support. That is why I like them so much. I like Barry.
I do too.
Now I don't like Barry because now I have to do some more reading. So Barry also submitted an answer for the 25 people. And the 7 people that he wants are, since you did not specify that the island is deserted, I pick Ibiza. I would live with 18 Secret Service agents. They get paid for what they do, so they are professionals. Those boys know how to party. I would also include 7 tradeswomen from the Cherry Patch Ranch outside of Las Vegas. They are very good at their trade. The end. I like Barry again, because even though I did have to do a little bit of reading, it wasn't so much.
Oh yeah, I don't have to now. I just have one small one, then you got a big one to read.
I do have a problem with Barry's submission though, because with 18 Secret Service agents that know how to party, gonna wear out them 7 tradeswomen real quick. So may want to tweak those numbers a little bit.
Yeah, even them out a little bit.
Yeah, because the 18 other people could be the women from the Cherry Patch Ranch, and the 7 professionals could be the Secret Service guys. So if you turn that around, yeah, make it a little bit more interesting.
There you go. I like that. This is from Phil, Philo 1000. Phil, he just did the shoes one. First time I ever bought water shoes, sort of like sandals, in Columbia, SA. I used to use running shoes for the beaches. Not anymore. They withstood the sun, water, and sand. Very comfortable, easy to take off with the Velcro straps. Anyone beach vacationing should own some. Water shoes.
Okay. So, Melinda, Silk and Soul. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, yeah. Oh man, and she's gonna see this too. You didn't read the question correctly because it was describe your favorite shoe ever and why you did or do love it so much. So I'm just gonna jump right into this, and this could take a little bit of a while. To ask what my favorite show ever is a difficult question. There are many profound shows that have stimulated my cerebral cortex and emotional spectrum, many for a myriad of different reasons. As favorite shows go, I have a list. Not necessarily would or could I put them in order from favorite to less favorite, as each one brought so many different aspects to the foreground for me. Yes, that sounds deep, but like most TV shows, they seek to either entertain, question who and what we are as citizens of humanity, or send a message to alleviate the awareness, or I'm sorry, elevate the awareness of issues in society.
Do you want me to help out here?
Nah, there's a lot of words, but you want to
Uh,
know something? What I really should have done with this was I really should have I don't know if I can do it now. Done that where I made it bigger. So I'm going to make it a little bit more bigger. The Stargate franchise made me bask in revelation that other people have a wish, as I do, to see that all people, no matter what their race, species, orientation, traditional and religious beliefs, and financial status, might be treated as equals or at least be deserving of respect as an individual, which is really interesting because my daughter's doing a constitutional thing right now, and she's doing it on the 14th Amendment, which is specifically about human rights and stuff and civil rights. Um, be deserving of respect as an individual. The wit and humor made for a delightful show with tongue in cheek antics filled with honor, friendship, camaraderie that all placed us on a journey into another galaxy, stimulating an exploration of ourselves. Fringe was a show that also made a sincere effort to question our judgments of others, whether they be family, friends, or a lover. Fringe was a beautiful show, entertaining, and the characters became family as they evolved. Same as the Stargate characters for me. I adore the Blacklist for so many reasons. Longmire reminds me of the value of honor and loyalty between friends. And I just lost my spot. Friends, Justified, Game of Thrones, Person of Interest, House of Cards, Friends, North of 60, Almost Human, etc., etc., etc. Shows that aspire to make us sit back in self reflection, explore our own afflictions of incapability to be honest in our assessment of ourselves, the ones that stimulate intellect. You are just way too smart to be a SnarkAlec. I don't know why you hang out with us assholes. I'm just saying that. Okay. Um, the shows that catch my attention, there is also the enjoyment gleaned from watching the triumph over our own despicable faults in human nature. From these shows that are always a bonus. Perhaps I'm just blathering on. I do apologize for not actually answering your question in the form of a singular show. Each show provokes an emotional or a rare glimpse into the world around me from a different perspective that holds value for me. And she ends that by saying that she loves her Nike sneakers. She didn't, but I just threw that in there.
just made that up.
I just made that up because
To make it fit the topic.
to make it fit the topic, I just threw that in there. Uh, so Melinda also answered the next question, which was the 25 people, 7 professionals question on an island. So 25 people. She wants to know, do we have Wi-Fi? If you bring in a Wi-Fi guy, then you got Wi-Fi. Because if we don't have access to some form of entertainment, I'm certain by the end of the first week there will be a person who would have developed a professional trade as an assassin. Okay, I'm gonna have to just come here. Let me grab it from here. There we go. Is that a little bit better? Um, well, develop the professional trade as assassin. Well, if this choosing must be accomplished in a satisfactory way for a successful test of survival. A botanist would be my first choice. Second would be a carpenter, then a survivalist instructor, a doctor, an astronomer, a musician, a physiologist. As for the other 17 people, as long as none of them were my sister in laws or brother in laws, I couldn't care less who they are. So, pretty much keep it in line with some of the other stuff that we've seen with the doctor
The
and the
botanist, yeah.
botanist and that happy crappy stuff.
It makes
Okay.
sense in the end. And then finally, a nice short to the point from Mr. T. Scott Brayboy. He did both. My favorite shoe is my blue and white checkerboard Vans I had in high school. No one else had a pair like them. So Vans make an appearance again. And his 7 professionals on island with 25 people: Navy SEAL, chef, paramedic, comedian, engineer, gardener, and a hooker.
Okay. So I think if I do a quick tally in my head, I think we had if we take paramedic and say a medical person, almost everybody said that there was some kind of medic. Um, Comedian came up twice. If we take the botanist, horticulturist, gardener, put those all together, gardener came up a bunch of times. Hooker came up 3 or 4 times. Actually, more than comedian did, because I think comedian came up twice if you count Jim Norton as a comedian. And well, actually 3, because Melinda said an entertainer. And the next biggest position would have been Myrna's drug dealers, but Myrna had like a whole bunch of drug dealers. Like she had a doctor drug dealer, a scientist drug dealer, and then
And technically, an engineer you can mix up with the carpenter slash architect.
architects.
Yeah.
Yep. Builder, treehouse guy.
And then the drug dealers, yes. Drug Island. Myrna is the queen.
Yeah. And how did we get that far? Well, started when she was young and she was eating the paint chips in the shoes. And then the next thing you know, she's queen of an island of drunken, spaced out zombies that are coming to a town near you.
And has and works out with the island next to them with Barry and his professionals.
Well, it's a good thing she had them build boats first, because then the zombies just got into the boats and spread out, in search of new and better drugs for Myrna. Drugs and shoes. That's what she needs. Drugs and shoes. Oh, that is hysterical. So that's about it for this week's episode of the Snews. We don't have any topics yet because the topics guru has not submitted any topics yet. But as soon as we get topics, we will tweet them out, and the link to the website. So next month on the 11th, we will be recapping SnarkStock, because it is just about a month away. And if you are coming to SnarkStock and you're watching this, you'll be getting an email probably sometime late next week. But yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun. Can't wait for Eastern State. Just hope the weather is good. And that's about it. So what do you got coming up, Mr. Dilly?
Because it's Mother's Day, I'm not going to be doing my show on Sunday. Jerry and I will be doing Dylan Knows on Saturday, actually at a new time at 11:30 a.m. It's a little bit earlier, just because Jerry's got soccer and stuff she's got to go to, and both my kids want to have a play date with various friends, so I've got to free up the basement, which is where I like to hang out. And so 11:30 on Saturday will be Dylan Knows List with Jerry Fletcher. We'll be talking about 10 best pop culture moms. That's our to-do list. And Also, this May is a five Sunday month, so I need a fifth Sunday, and I haven't. We discussed it a little bit, but I'm going to be talking more detail with Mandy, possibly doing another beer show, talking about the dearth of summer beers that are coming up and which ones to look out for and which ones to avoid entirely, as well as my international show and my rant show that I usually do by myself. So, which actually, you know what? Discussing loss, I might actually move that up to my show because I've been trying to think of topics for my show next weekend. I think I'll talk about Lost. I haven't had a chance to do it. I've been dying to do it for a while because it would have been up your alley, Tony. I think if you would get into it sometime. It did get frustrating near the end there, but I think a lot of people misunderstood the ending of it, and I'm going to try to set them straight.
Yeah, well, the interesting thing about Lost was it was one of those things where it seemed like it was going to be a serialized TV show, and that intrigued me, and I think um, just because of the time that it was on, it kind of didn't work for me. So I think I watched like the first two, and then that was it. And today is Thursday, and I'm kind of stalling, if you haven't guessed, because I want to see what's going on Saturday, because I did not look. Usually I do. 9 o'clock, Narnia, Voyage, Dawn, Treater. So this Saturday, got a lot of stuff going on, but this Saturday is actually my daughter's prom. It is
Ooh,
prom night.
nice.
Yeah, and after prom, our town does something called post prom, which starts at like 11:30 or 12 o'clock. And guess who's going to be one of the people there, not chaperoning, but running things.
Mr. Solo. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be there from like 11 to about 3 or 4 in the morning, if I'm lucky, But I may not get home till 5, but we'll see. So hey, I'm not gonna be missing anything because Narnia is on. Yay!
Horrible.
And with that, thank you, Myrna, Laura, Lee. Vicky Adesso was watching too. She tweeted out a picture of her husband being firefighters and stuff. Mr.
Johnny,
McGivney
yeah, Mr.
was
McGivney. Yep.
watching for a little bit. So, yeah, that's about it. Oh, and we are going to be adding a sports segment for next week. We'll find some whacked out sports to talk about because Lee wanted us to talk more about sports. She loves it. And so, and with that, we'll be back June 11th. SnarkStock is coming up June 6th. Those people are going to find out about it. And with that, I'll say good night.
Night, Saturday, 11:30 a.m.
11:30. Dylan knows because he does.